What if I told you that a 5,000-year-old story basically has all the answers to our problems? Like right now, today. I know, it sounds a little crazy, right? But stick with me, because that's exactly what we're gonna unpack.
I mean, let's be real. Does any of this sound familiar? You're stressed out. You've got these choices to make where there's no good answer. You're dealing with conflict. It's the constant background noise of being alive today, isn't it? And you can't help but feel like, man, our problems are just uniquely complicated. It's just us.
But what if that's not true? What if there's a guidebook for all this chaos, a blueprint for getting through the struggle that's just been sitting there waiting for us for thousands of years? That's the wild idea at the core of this ancient epic, the Mahabharata.
Okay, so we've got to reframe how we even think about this story. This isn't just some dusty old history book or a religious text. No, you got to think of it as something much, much more personal.
Think of it like a mirror. Seriously, when you look into it, you see kings making terrible mistakes, heroes just completely falling apart, good people going through unbelievable pain. It reflects back all the messy, complicated, and often unfair parts of just being human. And that's the point. It shows us that our problems, our struggles, they aren't new at all. They're timeless.
So to really get the lessons here, we have to understand this one crucial thing. This story isn't about them, some characters from long, long ago. Nope, it's an epic about us. See, every single character in this huge story is really just a piece of ourselves, that constant battle between what we should do, our duty, our dharma, and our own weaknesses. You know, the fallout from our actions, our karma, the sheer weight of the choices we make. It's all in there. It's the human experience laid bare. So let's zoom in on a couple of those big ideas, dharma and karma.
All right, first up, Dharma. Now, don't think of this as some rigid ancient set of rules. It's not that at all. It's much more like your personal moral compass, your unique purpose in life. It's all about figuring out the right thing to do and then actually doing it, especially when it's the hardest thing in the world.
And then you've got karma. And you know, a lot of people get this one wrong. They think it's like some kind of cosmic punishment system. But it's really much simpler and honestly way more profound than that. It's just the natural law of cause and effect. Every single thing you do, big or small, sends out a ripple. It's really just about accountability.
So keeping those two big ideas in mind, dharma and karma, let's jump into the first major lesson from this thing. And it's a big one. The Mahabharata does not give you easy answers. It absolutely lives in the gray areas just like we do. It shows us that life is almost never a clean, simple choice between good and bad.
And this dilemma right here just captures that complexity perfectly. Okay, on one side you have Yudhishthira. He's the king who is so obsessed with telling the truth that his honesty actually causes a total disaster. Then on the other side, you have this respected elder, Bhishma, who stays silent when he sees something horrible happening, and his silence lets it happen. So who's the good guy here? The story kind of suggests maybe neither of them are. The real point is that sometimes, no matter what you choose, it's going to lead to suffering.
And that leads to this incredibly powerful idea. When all the elders in the court just sat there and watched in silence as Draupadi was humiliated, well, their silence protected the bad guys. They chose to be comfortable instead of courageous. And the story is crystal clear about this. Doing nothing is doing something. Inaction is a choice. And choosing not to fight injustice is the same as choosing to support it. This whole idea of impossible choices really comes to a head with the story's greatest hero, Arjuna. I mean, here he is, on the battlefield, looking across at his own family, his teachers, his cousins, and he just breaks. He's supposed to be the mightiest warrior alive, and he literally puts down his weapon and says, "I can't fight."
He's just totally overwhelmed. He looks at the whole situation and just sees pointless destruction. This war is meaningless, he says.
And then comes the most honest, the most human confession of all. I'm confused. This isn't just some warrior having a bad day. This is a total human crisis. It's burnout, it's doubt, it's fear, it's everything, all at once.
But here's the key, right? What happens next is the real lesson. His guide, Krishna, doesn't yell at him or call him a coward. He just listens. And this moment teaches us something so important. Even the absolute strongest people break. Feeling weak, feeling confused, feeling totally burned out, that doesn't make you a failure. It just makes you human. Real strength isn't about never falling down.
It's about finding the courage to ask for guidance when you do.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. We've talked about the battles inside our own heads. Now let's talk about how those internal flaws can lead to a total external collapse. This story is a huge warning sign about how tiny personal flaws can plant the seeds of complete destruction.
I mean, just look at the main antagonist, Duryodhana. This guy had it all. Power, money, a whole kingdom at his feet. But his ego, and this just all-consuming jealousy he had for his cousins, the Pandavas, it made him completely blind. He literally could not stand to see them succeed. And that ego, that jealousy, it became this poison that didn't just destroy him, it brought his entire civilization down with him.
And this is where that idea of karma comes roaring back. See, every single injustice Duryodhana commits, every lie he tells, it all comes back around. Not as some kind of magical revenge from the gods, but just as the universe naturally rebalancing the scales. And that's the key takeaway here. You never really escape your actions. You just have to live with the consequences.
So if you zoom out from just one character, the story is giving us this timeless warning. It applies to any leader, any company, any society, really. Power without that moral compass, it just destroys itself. Success that's built on a shaky, unethical foundation, well, that's not success. That's just a collapse waiting for the right moment to happen.
So, you're facing all this stuff. Moral confusion, personal breakdowns, the destructive power of ego. What do you do? What's the way out? Well, the epic doesn't just leave us with the problems. It actually offers a really profound solution. It calls it the path of action.
This one line, this one piece of advice from Krishna to a totally broken Arjuna might be the most powerful teaching in the entire story. The idea is simple, but so hard to do. It says, focus completely on your work, on doing your duty, your Dharma, as well as you possibly can. And then, let go of the results. Detach yourself from the outcome. I mean, just think about how much of our stress, our anxiety, comes from worrying about outcomes we have zero control over, right? It's not the work itself that gets us, it's the obsession with the results.
And really, that's what this whole epic is for. It's not about winning some ancient war or who gets the kingdom. It's a survival guide. It's a manual for how to stay standing when life tries to knock you off your feet, and how to hold on to what makes you human when everything around you is just chaos. Which brings us right back to where we started. Back to you. Because the Mahabharata, it's not just a story you read, it's a question you have to live. In your meetings at work, in arguments with your family, in those quiet moments when you're filled with doubt, those are the battlefields of your life. And on that battlefield, there's really only one question that matters. What is your duty? What is your Dharma?